of Learn from Watching. This is going to be the Hunter role continued. We've just tuned in with Reels from SK Gaming in their game when he played Rama, and now we're going to tune into the Paradox from the Rambozos, and he's also going to be playing Rama. Now, before we start this one off, Rambozos are a wildcard team. They're a challenger team that have come up and have done very, very well for themselves. So even though people may not class him as a pro player, his plays are almost, if not just as good as the pro players themselves. And we're going to follow him through this game up against Thirst. And straight off the bat, what can we discuss? Well, he started exactly the same item build that we saw from Reels, which is the Death's Toll, the Spike Gauntlet, and the 1 health potion. Nothing too fancy other than that. He's not gone for anything crazy, no, Heart Seeker or Transcendence Rush, just straight up Devour's Gauntlets. Oops. Gotta find him on the board again, there we go. So, just like Reels, hanging around the mid lane, not going aggressive. His team doesn't want to be aggressive at the start of the game, so he's just going to play very, very passive under his tower and wait for the minions to spawn at the beginning. And before we begin, I'll just pause and quickly edit these two around. Yeah, Rambozos. Oh, typing is hard. No, I got it right the first time. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Rambozos and Thirst. There we go. Fixed. Jolly good show, and on we go. So nothing aggressive at the start. Once again, going to be doing the mid camps. And then straight over to his blue buff, help Chris Pocket bring this one down. Now his pathing into lane there was a bit risky, which is something we don't always see, but he pathed through, got his roll at level 2 and just rolled through the damage that was available. He is against a Sun Wukong as well, so he's only really threatened from a stun or a whoop, and it's unlikely Wubba would take whoop at level 2. So straight in and farm. Now it goes aggressive. Why is he going aggressive here right now? This is interesting from Paradox. Well, Wubba is playing Freya, and Freya's one that we don't always see in the AD carry role. We've seen more of her at the AD carry role, but the thing with Freya is that if we can tune in with her, I can just find it quickly on your screen. Freya's range damage comes on a certain amount of time. As you can see, it's an 11-second cooldown on this pulse, and so during the early stages they have to use that to burst the minion waves down. So when that's on cooldown, the moment he stops using those auto attacks, he knows it's on cooldown and he looks for the aggression onto her immediately, on top of the fact that positioning from Wubba was overextended. And that means that these minions will do aggro to her if she continues to stay in range of them. He's got the opportunity to put a free bit of poke damage on and put the pressure on early. But let's just see how long he keeps this pressure going. Notice how it stopped immediately. The minions hit the wave and it stopped. He threw out one last auto with a slow and that was it. Chris Pocket manages to use the shockwave through the minion wave, but then he goes back to farming again. Now his teammate's in trouble and his priority is on the squishier target. If you notice, he was trying to hit Wubba from the back there, not really focusing on El Brochacho for the most part, keeping the pressure on him. Back to farming once again. He's got a big minion wave build up here overall and he's going to get pushed under his tower. Notice the health bars of Wubba and Paradox right now. Paradox is the one technically in the lead on sustain, but I believe Wubba did pop a health potion if we just check in with that. No, he didn't. Okay, that's just me lying. Anyway, back we go. They've both got some form of sustain. And as you can see, Paradox's wave clear a lot more effective than Freya's during the early stages, especially his Rama versus. Still going aggressive. See that? With the minions on his advantage, he's got 3 Archer minions, not scared to fight. And he backs away because he knows he's got Geb with him with the shield. Will use the health potion. The trade did not go well for him, and the moment the trade stopped going well is the moment he backed out from it. Still looking to be as aggressive as possible, but in these auto attacks, not focusing anyone here, just focusing the minions time and time again. Now this is a different version of Paradox. At the moment he's got rank 2 and Pick Me Up, and he's been using that to try and speed up the wave clear as much as possible during the early stages. We'll see if he continues to max it though, as that is a difference between him and Real so far. So aggression went out as they hit level 5. Straight away they were looking for that to pick up the kill onto Wubba, who's not level 5 yet. First snipe hits, second snipe hits, third one from downtown. Oh my goodness me, how much health were you on, girl? How much health were you on? Oh my goodness, how painful. Then, once he's down, he turns his attention to Brochacho, putting the pressure on with the help of Pocket. Notice how he backed away. Do you notice how he backed away then? He didn't continue the chase because he doesn't know where Jaco is. He's been called out that he's missing, Agony's missing on this map. So he doesn't continue the chase and he's like, right, okay, Sun Wukong, we're not going to catch him anymore. Back to farming I go. So now he's got lane pressure. Now he's technically got lane dominance and control. And if he can push this into tower early, he's forcing Freya to miss experience. Well, there's a couple of creeps definitely going to make it there before Freya can get back to the lane. Which means she's not going to hit level 5 quicker. She's also going to be behind on gold. He used a lot of health, he used a lot of mana in that engagement, so backs to base immediately. What does he buy? Well, he gets his Curse Gauntlets online, so still working on this Devourer's Gauntlets, but also picks himself up a ward and a mana potion as well. The reason he's picked up a mana potion here, this is one thing that Reels didn't do, is because Paradox feels that he can dominate this lane. He feels very in control of this lane, and feels like he can fight more often. And if you're going to fight more often, you're going to use more mana, so picks up that mana potion to allow him to go aggressive. Back to the wave, continuing to farm. There we go, continue the farming. Nothing really exciting to talk about there, it's just farm is farm, as usual. Notice how he didn't go aggressive there that time, he could have gone, but blue buff was available, didn't overextend, didn't try and poke her further into tower. He's already got a lead that he's developed thanks to his early aggression. Although Wub has done a good job of catching up so far. Now he's looking to trade once again because he's got the minions on his side. Didn't immediately roll away from Sun Wukong being on the backside just because he knew he had archers. Once again goes back to base. Goes back to base. Why? Because he can get his his Devourer's Gauntlets online and start the stacking game. Another ward picked up by him. That's 2 wards by Paradox already at the start of this game. Okay. 100 gold spent by him already, invested into that, and it's working out for him so far. Spots Brochacho, but doesn't chase him into the jungle, just throws out the autos from the angle he's safe at. And now Brochacho gets himself caught out because he was back farming the minion wave. But with Wolfie being here as well, immediately disengages. But when he disengages, we'll just watch this again, because it's a nice little play to just explain exactly what hunters should be doing at all times. He's trying to stay at max distance the whole time. He's staying at max distance, walking away from Brochacho. The engagement comes in, rolls away, but instead of running, turns round and starts staying at max range. But who's his target here right now? Well, Wolfie's full health, Brochacho is at half. He's looking at Brochacho, Monkey Clone goes down, and the moment the cloud gets used, Paradox just backs away. He's just backing up, because he's going to the range of zone control put out by Brochacho. Why is this? Because Brochacho can jump down and he can land roughly in this area. So Paradox gets himself in a position that's just outside that area so he doesn't so-call that damage up from it. Disengage comes out from his team, he brings down the monkey, it gives him a stack if he kills it if he didn't know, and then back to farming once again. Watches his angle on the left there though for the most part, then farms the wave up when he knows where everyone is. Now he's looking to put pressure on again as Freya's wave clear early game isn't that strong. Tries to poke Jaco through the wall when he had the opportunity to. Notice he didn't go running in the jungle where there was minions to farm. It was just spare time he had to try and put some pressure on the map, while Freya had to farm up those minions. So if you notice he's still maxing Pick Me Up and also put an extra point into Tumble. Now the extra point into Tumble, if we check out what it actually does for you, lowers the cooldown on the Tumble, which means he wants to be more aggressive with this, but also have it available more often. He's not going for pure damage on the Astral Strikes, but he's going to get plenty of these Pick Me Up arrows, which means we're going to be able to spam this at rank 1 a little bit more often. And the attack speed will help him out on pushing the wave, especially against Freya anyway. Using a lot of the Pick Me Up, as you can see, to really push the wave in. He's not scared to use mana, but the moment the wave's down and he sees Brochacho, he backs away. Looks to put pressure on, picks up arrows, because that's what he's looking to do with the Pick Me Up. And gets himself in position for the next wave. Still not going aggressive until the minions are dead. Not scared to eat the poke from Freya during this stage of the game, have you noticed? Not scared to eat it, because he's got lifesteal. Going to rotate over because his team's doing Gold Fury now. And begin this one. You get the Gold Fury, immediately he backs away, doesn't turn around, doesn't check his, he knows there's going to be a monkey behind him, that's it. Backs away, back to tower. Does he recall back to base here? Yes, he does. The minion wave has pushed in, there's no minions to farm, there was nothing left for him to do. So bases immediately, rolls back out. Another ward online for him, also working on boots too. No actives just yet, bit of a difference between him and Reels once again in these fights. Turns up back at lane, going to be a fresh minion wave ready for him to farm once again. Push this one into tower, nice and quick, jolly good show. What does he do? Does he go and pressure the tower? Does he go and pressure the tower? Well, there's no one here, he's got a wall coverage, why is he not pressuring the tower? there's no real point. Is he going to be able to burst it down in time? Is he going to be able to get enough tower pressure on? Well, what he can do instead, rotate, take his blue buff. They're not overdoing it in lane for tower kills, guys. A lot of people do this in lanes. Overdo it for tower kills and extend the lane, make it different. But instead, let the minions die to the tower, put the pressure on. Now he knows where Freya is, goes for the blue, doesn't get it. Still happy to trade, but backs away when the trade doesn't go in his favour. Misses the first autos, backs away, gives it up. Back to farming once again. Freya lost a lot of minions to the tower then because he forced that trade. And even though he'd lost some HP poke, he'll sustain back up with the Devourer's Gauntlets. And at the same time, he'll also deny Freya experience from when he rotated over there. So constantly doing circles around his little area of the jungle once he's cleared the minion wave. Now Freya's starting to come online now. And you can see that with how she's starting to push into the wave and, you know, push the minion wave against him now. So he's going to start doing a little bit more respect to Freya. When he knows she's backed, pushed in the wave one more time, we'll probably look to base here. Why is he looking to base? The minions are not going to hit here in time for him to be able to get the tower pressure on. There's nothing for him in the jungle to farm, no Gold Fury to do. So looking to base and continue buying items. Boots 3 online. Paradox is going to be maxing his rollout second, so he's really looking for possession of it and to get it on that 8-second cooldown. If he does go for the beads in this game and gets max beads, then it's only going to be a 5-second difference between him being able to use 2 rollouts, one after the other, if he uses beads to get that 3-second cooldown off it, just to get it up one more time. Didn't prioritise fighting there, prioritise them farming one more time. If you notice, all the Hunters do this, they just farm. They're not really looking to fight unless a fight presents itself. As you can see, Paradox sees the opportunity. Both Freya and Rama see this opportunity, and we'll see a difference between the two of them right now of what's about to happen. Well, Paradox runs straight over, he takes a bit of poke from Wubba. Now Wubba doesn't have coverage of this area right now, which is the way Rama's going, and he realises that the team fight that's breaking out is going to be pushing his team back towards this tower. So Wubba's got to come the safe way around and Paradox can just rush through. If Paradox catches Freya coming through, he can pick him off, but Paradox is going to be the first one to this fight overall. Let's see how the rest of it plays out, whether he actually gets anything out of this, because sometimes you don't. But he's got the opportunity to do so. His minions were farmed. Minion wave is reset to mid, so at the moment he's not losing anything to the tower, but Freya's also losing stuff. Sat at the back of his team, not scared to roll in aggressively to close the gap to get in range for his skills. Going to put the pressure onto Brochacho. It's the only target presenting himself to him right now. Brings down the kill. What does he turn to next? Wubba's next on the priority. But he's not firing autos here. Now he's looking for the opportunity if he can get it once the call's been made on who the target is. Freya's ult is used. Immediately he uses his in response to buy himself some time. Make sure he doesn't take the free poke, especially because he's low health. Hangs in the air. Realises the call is on Jaco. Focuses Jaco down. Aegis comes out, buys him the time, he goes down, and now the pressure once again is onto the next member of the team, in Freya. Sorry, not into Freya. Onto whoever else just died, which I can't see who it was. I'm guessing it was, no, it wasn't Wolfie, it must have been Agni or Kronos. And then goes mid, farms, doesn't continue chasing the kill onto Wolfie, goes back over to his lane, Gold Fury's coming up, the whole team hit the call for it, bring down the Gold Fury. Bit of a bad engagement from the team there overall, but we'll discuss this because we saw with Reels that he tanked this one up. Now Paradox here, he looks like he was willing to tank, but then thought his teammate were going to do that for him. So he was tanking for a little bit, but backs away when Wolfie comes in. Chris Pocket ends up getting aggro because Paradox leaves the area a little bit too soon. And so he pays the price. He was probably going to pay the price anyway. And so Paradox disengages, goes and takes his blue buff, and back to base. No, he's not because of the Gold Fury fight. See that? He's low on mana. He's got no ultimate available, but he's still going to try and contest this Gold Fury overall. He's taken the blue buff down, he's low on the mana like I said, but he's going to try and just use his zone. Notice how he walks forward to exactly that point. He stood here, where my mouse is right now, and looked at them. As well as Loki's decoy, this just puts an area of zone control on the map, which forces the Thirst team to disengage, allowing them not to be able to do it. And so that little bit of pressure has bought him time. Now that he was about to base, if you remember, but now he's like, no, I'll farm this wave this time round, wait for my teammates to turn up. Unfortunately for him, the Gold Fury is still being done. And once he realises that thanks to the help of his Loki, he turns up to the fight to get involved again. Round the backside this time. Who's his focus? That's the question. Notice the focus? Brochacho's really low, but it's a tank. Not going for Brochacho. He's looking at the 2 damage dealers. Hitting onto Wubba right now. Wubba uses ultimate again. Paradox has got a decision to make now. I'm going to take free poke. Where do I go? Now that he sees Loki's gone down, and he can't get to Freya anymore, and Jaco's just out of his range. He turns his attention once again to El Brochacho, forces out the monkey clone. So he's forced 2 ultimates so far in this fight. Loki's invisible as well. Now that Sun Wukong goes up, Wubba turns around, lands, and Paradox goes aggressive onto him again. So he's looking for the right target every single time. Not looking for crazy targets, looking for the correct target in the engagement. Not chasing down kills, chasing the ones that are right in front of him. Gonna tank up the decoy for the most part, wait for his team to turn up for the fight, and look for the re-ingression. Who's he going to focus? Well, the nearest target to him, picks up them. Then he's going to walk forward to Jacob Malfoy, only his maximum range, sees Wolfie, backs away. Probably could still go down here, but the moment he saw Wolfie, he backed away, saw the fight was not good for himself, trying to run to victory, still going to pay with his life. All these games we've watched so far have gone exactly the same way in terms of how they've been played out by both the hunters. Oops. Speeding this up a bit too fast. Slow that down. He's still dead? Did he die again? Oh, okay. We need to rewind and find out what happened there because I missed that one. So, what happens in this situation? Because this is one that we won't always see the bad things that happen, but we can try and work out why it happened overall on the engagement. So, Golfury's now gone down. He's going to go back to lane and continue farming once again. Farm, 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 farm. Nothing too fancy. Nothing too excited, but what we can see with Paradox right now is that he invested into a full executioner when he went back to base there. No actives online just yet, so he's looking for more aggression. He believes that he can reposition himself more effectively, and by him not having the actives online like beads, it can put him in a bad situation, but he's made this decision earlier on in the game by going for the tumble first. He's looking for the rolling assault more often, and he believes this 8 seconds with this rolling assault and his ultimate will buy him enough time to relocate himself out of bad situations, so he can afford to go for the executioner first and not invest into beads earlier on. Now, this was very aggressive from Paradox here, and I think it's just a misplay overall. He rolled the wrong direction, gets hit by the double ultimate, he panicked when he saw Wolfie and goes down. There's not much more to talk about this. He basically just rolled the wrong direction, got in trouble, but you can see how much time his roll and his ultimate bought him overall. When he landed, he ulted into the sky. After the roll, realised he relocated, then rolled again. Still bought himself enough time for Thor to rotate in. They don't really get anything else out of that one. And it was generally a mistake by Paradox. It was a bit of under pressure situation. He just rolled the wrong direction and got himself caught. Now he's back in mid lane, and his team are looking to group up. So he's looking to push onto mid lane tower. He's not got the support from his team here, but he's still looking to farm for the most part, wherever he can, and support the lanes that need it. Your right tower is under attack. Notice when he went back to base there, he bought Sprint and Purification Beads. Just rank 1, because he respected the fact that he just died in a silly situation, that if he did have Beads or Sprint, he probably could have lived in that situation. So he looked for that. Pops the Sprint early to get back to lane. Why? He wants that farm. He doesn't want to lose any to the tower. Rolls in to grab the aggro from the frontline minions so they don't get in tower range. So he soaks the whole minion wave of gold. He would still get experience from it, but he now soaks the whole gold. Goes back, picks up his blue buff. Nothing too fancy from Paradox once again. And back to farming we go. Looking for the aggression because he saw Thor coming in. Notice how he only rolls forward, really. I mean, he made one misplay roll, but other than that, wasn't looking for it with the help of his teammate. Going to focus the tower down as well. And there's a tier 1 on this side going down. Back to Golfury, not going to tank it up if his team wanted him to, but they didn't need him to. Back to farming again. It's all pretty simplistic when you look at it. There's nothing too crazy coming out of Hunters overall. They all pretty much go the same item build. Both these Rama games have been pretty much the same. They've rotated when the farm is down, and they've looked for kills when the farm is down, but they've not done anything when they've got a lot of minions to deal with. If they're not happy with a trade situation, they back out. If they lose a trade, they start backing out immediately. They don't hang around to continue losing the trade, or just try and force the trade back. Notice he's staying at max positioning here. He's not trying to walk around the corner too much because he doesn't want to take too much poke. Respects Agony's maximum range, so he uses the rollout. Positions himself by rotating around the back towards the support of his team. He's not going to try and flank around the side. Why is he not going to try and flank around the side? Well, he's not got vision of this area here. Could get rotated on. We saw Reels do it earlier, but that was a different situation. So he turns up to the fight. Let's watch his positioning in this one. Stays at max range. It's priority target time. Who's the priority target? Elbro Chacho's low on health. Wub is out of his max range. Osmosis is probably just in range right now, but he's going to prioritize Wolfie. Why Wolfie? Because Wolfie on the charts right now is the danger man. 5, 4, and 2. Majority of the kills. He's the one wrecking faces. Focuses Wolfie down. Wolfie starts moving away, so he turns his attention to Brochacho to bring him down. Uses the ultimate to try and bring out Brochacho, but he's already dropped. Hangs in the air. Next target, Draco Malfoy. Gonna focus on the squishies if he can. He saw the Aegis get burnt. Waits before using his last one. Luckily, he gets away. Now Paradox turns his attention again. Doesn't continue the chase for this Draco Malfoy to secure a kill. He was like Wolfie Osmos for half a second. Chose Osmos, and now the trade starts with him. Gonna roll away, continuing the fight, trying to stay max distance. Gonna probably use bees to try and get out of that. Doesn't get it in time though, so eats most of the poke. Still trying to trade with Osmos, trying to get his max distance if he can. Wins the trade all in all thanks to the help of Ao Kwong, but chose his target correctly. Didn't go for Wolfie, he was trying to go to the other side of the map. Focused the squishy targets, the danger men in the team, the most damaging ones, and Osmosis is the one that will be able to cripple quicker than the other.
Your right Phoenix is under attack.
As you can see at the stage of the game when they get Fire Giant, he's able to sustain up. Notice how he wasn't too scared of tanking that either. He's naming off a full build Hunter right now with Devour's Gauntlets, Executioner and Rage Online. He was able to sustain from pretty much 20% health up to about 40% and tank up most of that Fire Giant for his team, and didn't die, didn't recall back to base because he was out of mana or out of health, because a lot of Hunters do that. They're like, I've got no mana. Well, you're a Hunter. You're generally there for the auto attacks more than anything else, mate, so you don't really need the mana. I mean, you're only hitting an auto attack in a PvE god, PvE minion on the map, so why do you need to have mana to do that? You don't. Once again, continuing to farm, soak up experience. Notice how he prioritised the minions in lane over the blue buff. First of all, he wanted to make sure he got the minions under the tower as much as he could before he goes and takes his blue buff down. And Paradox has been a bit more wasteful with his mana. He's not scared to use the rollout and use the pick me up a little bit more often. It has meant he's been lower on mana in some situations, but at the same time he knew he could do that there because he had the blue available and his team's in a good position. Pops his sprint to try and close the gap for the last fight of the game by the looks of it. Sees if he can get involved. Who's his target going to be? Wolfie. Wolfie, 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 Wolfie. Ignoring Brochacho. Wolfie, 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 Wolfie. Wolfie gets out of range. Where's Paradox's opportunity to go on now? Anything in range. Wolfie's back in range. Osmos could be in range. Brochacho could be in range. Backs away. Zoning in with his team. Turns around, hits the tower. What's his next target? Look at the decision making the Hunters go through on who to prioritise in the fights more than anything else. They hit what's directly in front of them, but he's more likely to die or the one they can deal the most damage to. Not scared to go aggressive when his teammates are with him. Through the wall, hitting onto Wubba, getting some nice damage off. Still staying at max range, still staying at max range all the time. Doesn't mind poking through the wall. Nice use of the Astral Strikes there. Rotates over, brings out the next Phoenix. And there goes the Titan. So, with those two games looked over, if we could see both Paradox's version and Reels' version of Rama, they may have done different things in terms of their actives. Paradox was a little bit more aggressive in the lane because he saw opportunities to do so, but they were kind of explained. He did get caught out of position once because he overextended, but you saw exactly what happened with him and what his mentality was of why he didn't buy beat active so early. He expected to rely on the tumble, which he maxed second. Reels went for the Astral Strike max first, followed by the pick me up in that situation. Both of them, though, do very, very similar things. They both look to farm for the majority of the game. They don't like to miss farm before they rotate for fights, and they also continue to get gold and go back as often as they need to. And if they do have a trade with anybody in that game, if they're not comfortable with the trade, if they start to lose the trade, they don't try and continue the trade and adjust, they'll just back away. They'll back away, and wait for the re-engage to happen again a little bit later on. Always staying at max distance, not chasing deep for a kill. They're going for the targets that present themselves. Using your abilities to engage and go deeper into the backlines of a team when someone's escaping can most of the time get you killed. And so we'll see that as we go into some of the viewer games later on and other parts of the YouTube series you'll see where players may go deep for a kill looking for that extra kill, which could put them in a bad situation later on in the game. But that's the end of Learn From Teaching from the Haunter role. We'll be back next week and we'll probably look over one game from each of the roles once again from the Wildcard series that happen over this weekend.